I want to transition to our final topic, and it is the topic of the poll, which I was actually wrong in my assumption of how the voting would end up. So we asked in the poll question tonight, and this is an interesting question because, depending upon when you consider the actual Bitcoin top from the last bull market. So there was one in April. We all refer to it as the double top, but in April it was about 64, 65K. And then in November of 2021, we hit that 69. We'll just say it was 69, 420. But which one was the actual top? Because some people, have thought for a while that it was kind of the precursor to that DeFi summer, and that April of 21 was the real top. And I think a lot of people, Sami's actually been talking about this. A lot of people after that happened, and you can understand why, because Bitcoin went from 65K down into the 30s again over the course of that summer. Many people are like, okay, that was the top. But then we rallied back up in November of 21. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high of 69K. And, I was going to say it was off to the races, but it really wasn't, because that was it. And then it petered out in December. Overwhelmingly, the poll results show that November of 21 was the actual top at 83%, 17% say April of 21. I guess I can get this because, it was technically the higher number, and it came later on. But this is an interesting one, and I guess that really answers my question, because we're trying to figure out what will the market actually call the top of the last bull cycle, so we can kind of game out this bull cycle. If it is November of 21, that leads me to believe that the majority of this year could be slow. This year meaning 24, obviously. That maybe we don't have that kind of left translated thing, and everything moves early because of the BlackRock ETF. That maybe we are a little bit slower here, and things really pick up a little under a year from now. Not saying we're going to be moving up, no moving up for a year. I think we will, but I think things could be getting serious by this time next year. If this is what most people think. I have a follow-up to that, a tweet from Bob Lucas the other day, who we here in the Hex community love. But let me get your thoughts on that first, Ewok. Would you tend to agree with the poll results here? And how do you think that could affect this coming bull cycle?
Yeah, I voted on that as well. And I think that November was the top. It was the double top. And, if you listen to what Richard says, he made the top call in April, and it was in profit every day, except I think there were 2 days there that it wasn't, but when it went up and then it closed and then it went back down, there were 2 days where it wasn't in profit, and it only went up like, I don't know, it went from 65 to 69K. So there wasn't a whole lot of difference there. And I do agree. And we were looking at it before we started the stream. We were looking at some of the charts and where they actually topped. And it was interesting to see that, what was it, Doge was topped in April. So some of the altcoins did actually top in April. Some of them didn't, like some of them mirrored Bitcoin. Well, obviously Ethereum mirrored Bitcoin, and some of the higher cap ones did as well. But I feel like November was the actual top. And, usually you go, 3 years or 2 anyway, before the bull gets full on going. Right. So yeah, I think this time next year we're going to be in a completely different spot, and but that, just my opinion. But we looked at some coins like Litecoin, and they never even got to a previous all-time high. So and then Hex, that topped out in September
of 21.
So and all over the place.
I think Hex obviously kind of hit its top, before I think many other altcoins did, but a lot of altcoins then hit their top for the cycle more so in that second Bitcoin top area. I'm pretty sure Phantom was one of them. Like, I know it got up in the high $3 area. Because there were people out there strongly telling you to buy it at that price, and that it's going to go to $20 this cycle. So there was a lot of that stuff going on. And I will be honest, and I don't mean to like shit on everybody who said that, because there were quite a few people, and it's easy to say it in hindsight. We're 2 years later at this point,
Yeah.
but many people in November of 21, as Bitcoin hit that top, were like, "Hey, I mean, yeah, I do think we're going to go to 100K here by like the spring of next year." And really, that was, I don't know if it was a consensus, but a lot of people thought that at that time, and a lot of really smart people thought it at that time. When they should have made their adjustment was when we had these absolutely crazy, horrible couple of weeks in December, when the market just came way back down right after that second top. But a lot of people didn't change their tune, and had a miserable last couple of years. So, yeah, so I am with you. Yeah, I think that the second one, and I'm just going to react to what the market thinks, and if that's what they're looking at it as, then yeah, I'm going to say that that's what it is.